hearings and does not conduct its own additional public hearings on these items. The decision of the BZA is final. Any appeal of a decision of the BZA is to the district court.
Thank you. And now to ask for a roll call of commissioners, please.
Yes, ma'am. Fox.
Present.
Dool. Here. McKay is absent. Green.
Here.
Bill Johnson.
Here.
Josh Blick. Josh Blick is absent. Nix. Hugh Nix is absent. Foster.
Here.
Warren is absent. Joe Johnson.
I'm here, but I'll have to leave at 5:02 for a specialist doctor's appointment, and I'll try to get back as soon as I can.
Thank you,
if
sir.
possible.
Miles.
Absent.
Miles. Hartman.
Here.
Aldridge.
Present.
Williams Bay.
Here.
9.
I show 9 members present, ma'am.
9 members present, and the next item is approval of the meeting minutes from February 23rd. I show 4 persons ineligible to vote: Nix, Hartman, Joe, and Bill Johnson for out early. Any corrections or changes to those minutes, or could I entertain a motion for approval?
Move to approve.
Motion from Commissioner Foster and a second from Commissioner Green. All in favor of accepting the minutes as presented, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, the
Abstain.
motion passes. 9 minus 3 exemptions would be 6 in favor, 0, 3. Thank you very much. Next, we'll proceed through the agenda and identify those items we can take on consent. First, subdivision item 2023 quadruple 09, Auburn Villas at 119th Street and US 54. Does anyone on the commission want to hear this case? Anyone in chambers want to hear this case? Anyone participating remotely want to hear this case? Hearing none, we'll take that item on consent. This is our only subdivision case.
Move to approve.
Motion.
Item 2.1.
Motion
Staff
to
comments.
approve by Bill
Second.
Johnson, second by Commissioner Hartman. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes 9-0. Public hearing items, vacation item 2023 quadruple 02, located near West Douglas and West Street. Anyone on the commission want to hear this item? Anyone in chambers want to hear this item? Anyone participating virtually want to hear this item? Hearing none, we can take this item on consent.
I move that we approve vacation 2023 quadruple 2.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Green, second Commissioner Joe Johnson. Any discussion? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes 9-0. Public hearing items. 4.1 is 2 items. Community Unit Plan 2023 quadruple 07 and Community Unit Plan 2023 quadruple 08, located at Meridian, just north of I-235. Does anyone on the commission want to hear this case? Anyone in chambers want to hear this case? Anyone participating remotely want to hear this case? Hearing none, we can take those 2 items on consent. Next item, 4.2, zoning case 2022 00016. This is a request located near 26th Street North and Hillside. Anyone on the commission want to hear this case? Okay, we will hear 4.2. Item 4.3, zoning case 2023 quadruple 04, located at West Street and 8th Street North. Anyone on the commission want to hear this case? Anyone in chambers want to hear this case? And anyone participating virtually want to hear this case?
I have a staff question.
Staff
on that.
question?
Yeah.
Should we take that right now? Yes, let's take that. Aaron, question on zoning case 2023. Quadruple 04, go ahead.
This is probably, I've talked with Aaron about this, and I guess maybe legal needs to chime in. Do we have any concerns with 8th Street right-of-way on this case? It's 8th Street kind of does a curve to accommodate 30 feet of street right-of-way. On the north, just the north line. It's undivided. And I don't know if we need to have Public Works chime in on this or not worry about it until it's time for plating, if they're going to plat it.
Mr. Green, I would say probably it would be a matter of taking into consideration at the time of plating, the zoning is going over what are the appropriate land uses. In a sense, it's looking to bring something even into compliance of what's already been operating. Should a future building permit need to be taken out on the site, then they'll have to plat it, and the 8th Street right-of-way will be reviewed at that time.
Well, it's paved, and it has been paved for a generation, probably. At least it seems like it. But I thought if it was an opportunity to get the right-of-way that was needed, that this would be a time to do that. But it sounds like it'd be more along at the time if they wanted to take out a building permit and have it platted. So, okay, that's all. Thanks.
Okay. If there are no other questions, I'm able to take that item on consent. Item 4.4, zoning case 2023 quadruple 05, located at Ridge Road, south of 53rd Street North. Does anyone on the commission want to hear this case? Does anyone in chambers want to hear this case? Anyone participating virtually who would like to hear this case? Hearing none, we'll take 4.4 on consent. And item 4.5, zoning case 2023 quadruple 06 and community unit plan 2023 quadruple 03, located at Meridian and 42nd Street. Anyone on the commission want to hear this case? Anyone in chambers want to hear this case? Anyone participating virtually want to hear this case? We will take item 4.5 on consent.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve items 4.1, 4.3, 4.4, and 4.5.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Green and a second from Commissioner Foster. Any discussion on these items? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes 9-0. And we will move to item 4.2. Do we have the developer or the agent or applicant in the room for item 4.2? Mr. Henson, Mock Properties, or Philip Ruffo? Guess what Ann forgot to do? Let me see if we can get the agent or applicant online, please. Does it seem like there's an echo in this room today? I'm feeling kind of lonely in this room. Yeah.
No.
No. You're pretty good at that echo thing.
Sounds good here.
All right. Can we go ahead with staff report and then we'll work for the agent? Go ahead, Christina.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Christina Reith, Associate Planner with the Metropolitan Area Planning Department. This is case number zone 2022-00016. The applicant on the property you see in black here is requesting B multifamily residential zoning on the undeveloped 7,000 square foot lot. It's currently zoned SF5 single family residential, and it's located on the southwest corner of East 26th Street North and North Wellesley Avenue. The applicant proposes to build a duplex on site. And as you guys know, TF3 is the first zoning that allows duplexes by right. However, the B zoning allows setbacks in B zoning allow more room for development than on site for TF3. So for example, the front yard setback in TF3 goes from 25 feet to 20 feet in B multifamily zoning. The rear yard setback goes from 20 feet to 15 feet. The street side yard setback goes from 15 feet to 5 feet, and the interior side yard setback goes from 6 feet to 5 feet. So this allows more room for the duplex to be developed upon. So a couple things here. The proposed B zone site abuts and is adjacent to SF5 zoned properties. So because of the protective overlay that we're implementing here, the compatibility height standards will not be waived. Thus, the duplex's maximum height of 35 feet will be the same as the abutting and adjacent SF5 single family residences. In April of 2022, this case was scheduled for consideration by the Metropolitan Area Planning Commission, but it was deferred by the applicant prior to the public hearing. And then the District Advisory Board, District 1, met on Monday, and this was denied by the District Advisory Board. And they had concerns that there aren't any duplexes in the area. This is mostly, single-family residential. I did speak with the applicant, though, and he wanted to note that there are triplexes and fourplexes that are just 2 blocks west of here on the northeast corner of Hillside and 26th, and those are zoned limited commercial with a protective overlay. The zone change request is governed by the following plans and policies, mainly the Community Investments Plan. So the 2035 Wichita Future Growth Concept Map shows a subject site as appropriate for residential. And the requested zoning also aligns with the goals of the Wichita Places for People plan. The requested zoning aligns with Strategy 5, provide a diversity of housing options to attract new residents and allow existing residents to remain in the established central area. It also aligns with Strategy 6 of the Places for People plan, which says encourage an infill and redevelopment that is contextual to the environment in which it is occurring. The subject property is also located within what we identify as an area of stability. A well-designed duplex can support the existing context and maintain the stable development environment in the area. It's also in conformance with the Northeast Heights Neighborhood Comprehensive Plan Amendment. The proposed rezoning aligns with Policy 1, which states it is recommended that the Planning Commission find more intensive development that is appropriate within the neighborhood. Based upon the information available at the time the staff report was prepared, staff recommends approval of the requested B zoning with the following provisions of protective overlay number 391, which reads, number 1, one duplex will be built on site. 2, the duplex will have a maximum height of 35 feet. 3, the site will have a 25-foot front yard setback, that was a little hard to say, a 5-foot interior side yard setback, an 8-foot street yard setback, and a 20-foot rear yard setback. 4, provide a drainage plan for review and approval to Public Works. 5, the parking area shall not cover more than 50% of the front yard, and trash dumpsters shall not be permitted in front of the duplex building. 6, a site plan shall be approved by the Director of Planning before any building permits are issued. And 7, the applicant shall record a document with the Register of Deeds indicating that this tract includes special conditions for development on the property. I'm just going to go through some of the slides here. Here's an aerial of the undeveloped property on 26th and Wellesley. Here is indicating that according to the future growth concept map, this area identifies as residential. Here is a Northeast Heights neighborhood plan. And here is a site plan of the proposed duplex. We have the lot here with the reduced setbacks, and then the garages are on the east side here. Here is a front elevation, which would front 26th Street, or I believe, let me go back here. Wellesley, thank you. And here's another picture of the floor plan. Sorry, I think the keyboard's being a little weird. Oh, okay, I can do that too. So here are some of the single-family houses in the background. Next slide, please. Yes. Is that the house to the north across the street? I believe so, yeah.
Am I seeing correctly that garage extends out to within like 6 feet of the sidewalk directly?
It's possible. We can go back to that.
Okay.
It's a
Yeah.
carport.
Next slide, please. So here's some more single-family houses in the area. Next slide, please. More single-family houses in the area. Next slide, please. And I believe that is the end of the site photos. I did receive one comment from a lady who Philip took in when he was planner of the day. She also said that the duplex is not contextual with the neighborhood. And with that, I will stand for questions.
Questions for Christina? I have one question. So the double garage faces Wellesley. Is that considered the front of the house then?
Yes.
Is that considered the front yard? So the front yard setback is based on that side? Because
Yes.
to me, the developer has a beautiful opportunity on a corner lot to use that as the side yard and then to make the front of the house look like a house instead of a duplex to fit the neighborhood. Was there any discussion at the DAB about design elements that might make that more compatible with the neighborhood?
I presented this case at DAB on Monday, and they didn't go into in-depth conversation about design. They did reference how, in their mind, looking at it, bringing up past discussions of design recommendations that have come out of Places for People, of identifying that the garage facade was over 50% of the ground floor facade of the front of the building, and the lack of transparency on the front of the building with windows and things like that. They didn't go much farther than that, other than saying, we've had several duplex cases come through the district advisory board meetings, and how they just remember what those design discussions have been, and they just basically reference they don't feel like it fits what comes out of Places for People, even though that's not part of the recommendation in the staff report. It didn't go past that to say, well, could you turn it and take advantage of the side yard? Like, there really wasn't an in-depth discussion about design. Just since with speaking about DAB did recommend denial unanimously 9-0.
Well, and that the other part is, like, when you look at the aerials, and I'm very familiar with this neighborhood, a lot of the homes are on double lots. So proportionally to the space it's occupying, it really feels like we're slamming it into this tiny little corner lot. I think it could be done appropriately with a little different design look and make it fit better. But if you can even see on some of the photos she showed, several of those homes are on double wide lots. And so that, to me, makes it not fit very well as well.
Christina, do you have any dimensions on their garages?
I do not.
It looks like a single car garage there.
It's 2 single car garages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the requirements is for them to not have their dumpsters in the front yard, and I just don't see any place to put one if you don't put it in the garage. And it looks to me like we're introducing a new use to a all single-family neighborhood, so I'm gonna be against this.
Commissioner Williams Bay. Can you use your microphone for us?
Yeah. If you remember, I think about a month or so ago, we had another one exactly like this about 4 blocks away, and we denied that. I don't think this site is conducive for this duplex. If you look at the site, it's elevated, and how they're this duplex on a lot that size, I'm not in favor of that at all.
Any other commissioner questions before we go on to the agent or applicant? Yeah, Commissioner Aldrich.
Are there current design standards for that area as far as building?
Not at this time.
Not at this time.
You know, this lot has been vacant for decades. You know, as far as, you know, whether or not duplexes are a fit in single house, you see it happening all over the city. You know, I can point several areas out there that's never had duplexes, and then all of a sudden, you know, 20 years ago, they started popping up everywhere. And, you know, you've got the property owner, you know, is wanting to do something, I guess, on that property that's never been developed. And apparently the applicant isn't here today, but one of my questions I would have with the applicant is, are there any other type of designs that he can make changes to in order to get this approved, so we can add some more housing?
Okay. Were we able to find the applicant? Okay,
Online.
awesome. Any other questions or comments before we move to the applicant's presentation? Okay, we would then call on the applicant, please, to state your name and address, and then you have 10 minutes to tell us about your project. And if you're muted, you might unmute because we're not hearing you yet.
Chad, do you have a few minutes to speak?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, sorry about that. I had it off mute, but phone put it back on there. So, so Chad Abbott, Abbott Land Surveying, 631 North Kessler, Wichita, Kansas. I'm the agent for the applicant. So in regards to a few of the items that were discussed, there is another design for the foundation and the duplex, which actually would be facing 26th Street. The garages, they are the current plan that is shown on the application. That was a kind of a first gen for that foundation, or for that type of duplex that was being thought of there. There's been several more that the architect has worked on with the client, with the owner on this property. So the goal here, as far as applying for the rezoning, is to create a zoning where we can get a duplex in there under the parameters that with the size of the lot that we're dealing with. I don't think the client or the architect in this instance was either aware or really understood that the decision to show this particular foundation was going to have such an influence on whether the zoning got approved or not. So I would really like everyone to just kind of keep in mind that the foundation, it's not a finished work. We haven't We haven't decided what's going to be built there, and we certainly could face something towards 26th. And both the applicant and the applicant's architects more than willing to work with the city to get a foundation and a front elevation for the property that would be acceptable as for this area. So I just want to kind of really hammer that home, that just because we've got a drawing here, it was really just from a first gen drawing on a foundation where we got a garage facing Wellesley. That's just an idea at this point in time. That's not what it's written in stone or anything like that. So we're really just looking to get the zoning that's going to allow us to move forward on some plans on what we can actually put on that lot, what it can be developed as. So in regards to the question about the trash, there is an alleyway over there. I understand concerns about where the trash is going to be. I would assume with a duplex, particularly if it's facing 26th, there could be trash receptacles, even if they're fenced over there by that alley. So I don't think that's something that's insurmountable either. It is a smaller lot. It is a corner lot. So I would like to also come and hammer on the point that when you're talking about a duplex, it's always easier to use a little bit smaller lot. What I mean, let me rephrase that. If you have a smaller lot, it works better if you have a double street, particularly when you're dealing with a duplex. So even though that this lot isn't as large as some of the other ones in the area, it is large enough to house a duplex. And of course, duplexes by nature, the people renting them, they generally aren't looking for as big a yards or even want as big a yards. So I don't think it's out of character for this lot. And then finally, in regards to it, this is set many decades undeveloped. So the idea that somebody's going to be able to come in here and make this particular lot swing from a financial standpoint to put a single family home on there, it's just not reasonable. If it's been done, it would already been done. So if we can't get zoning to put a duplex on there, that's probably just going to sit for some time to come. And with that, I would just stand for any questions.
So you're saying that there's no possibility that the owner would consider a single family on that lot?
All I can tell you is what has been indicated to me, that
Okay.
with particularly with current costs for materials, the way they've went up, it's just made it that much harder. And no, I don't think he has any plans to build a single family home there.
Okay, thank you. Question, Commissioner Williams-Bay?
Yes, I drove by there today. There's still a for sale sign on that property. Has it been sold, or is it the new owner that's wanting to build this, or can you explain that?
I actually do not have an explanation for that. It might be just a sign that didn't get picked up. I'm not real sure on that. I have no contact or let me rephrase. I've had no contact in that manner with the owner. I mean, he's definitely interested in building a duplex here if he gets the zoning.
Okay, additional questions? Commissioner Williams-Bay?
Confused, so which owner are we talking about?
Well, it's Skylar.
Also known as Calvin Henson on the application.
Yeah.
Okay, other questions for the applicant? Go ahead, Commissioner Green.
You mentioned the alley west. Is that an active alley, or is it being used? It doesn't appear to be used at all.
Yeah, I was just mentioning that since there is an alley there, as far as a different type of foundation or home design, I think it makes sense that they could at least be able to put the trash cans in such a way that they're not in street view and, wouldn't be an eyesore.
Okay, any other questions? If none, then I would ask if there's anyone participating virtually who would like to comment on this item. Hearing none, I will bring this matter back to the commission. Did I miss a step?
Just for the record, just to announce there's nobody in the public in the
And-
room. So.
Oh, yes. So that you're aware, there is no person from the public in the room other than commissioners and staff. All right, Commissioner Johnson.
Did I understand that the planning department will have the last look at this as far as from appearance or not?
No, it's not in
No,
play yet.
Okay, and I guess my second question is, if somebody's applying for zoning, do they even have to show their plan?
No.
Not in this case, not for this type of
That's what I
action.
thought, which in this case, it's gonna hurt them, when in reality, if they had done without it, we wouldn't have been having this discussion.
True.
So
Commissioner Foster?
it's not going to go through a plating process. We're not going to see any further site plan or anything. We would just have to trust that if they built a duplex here, it would be more architecturally appropriate.
You know, it depends on the restrictions that would be placed on the property, but so a site plan does have to be approved, but it doesn't deal with elevations and what it looks like.
And I think this goes back to, at one time, we were hoping to have a zoning code change that you could have duplex by right in a residential area if you presented design standards that were compatible with the neighborhood. And so we don't have those zoning codes rewritten, and therefore the design requirements are not written in the code. That doesn't mean we couldn't request them in this case. However, yes, Commissioner Foster?
I would just say that in principle, I think we need to get used to the idea of neighborhoods that are not solely single family, which can be a good thing and was a good thing. Look at College Hill. They have single-family homes mixed in with multifamily, everything from duplexes to small apartments, intermingled, and it works really well. And that was normal up until the 1950s. Then we went on this single-family housing jag. So in principle, I don't object to a duplex, but given our circumstances that we have no method of influencing the design of the duplex to make it be in character with the neighborhood, that is what is hanging me up. I would vote for it if I thought we could have a better architectural solution for the neighborhood, but we don't. And given that, our only way of protecting the neighborhood is to simply deny the request for the zoning.
Commissioner Johnson?
I don't know if staff or legal can answer this. Can be a motion to approve it with the understanding that they have to present another plan where it's more directed to 26th Street rather than the way it is right now?
You can make that as part of the protective overlay. In the past, when duplex cases had come up, staff would have provided a recommendation about the design. And the way that was enforced was by putting it in the protective overlay as a condition that the applicant needed to meet in order for the zone change to be in compliance with the zone change. So that is a condition you can add.
I don't want to repeat all that, but I'd like to make a motion to that effect. Approve.
Second.
A motion from Commissioner Johnson and a second from Commissioner Green.
Just a quick clarification question. So just make sure I understand the motion correctly. So the motion is to approve with the additional condition on the protective overlay that the designs, the elevations of the development would be reviewed and approved by staff, or?
Yes.
Are you specifying that the garages face
Wellesley.
26th, or one faces 26th and one faces Wellesley, or we're leaving it up to staff review of the design to make sure it's something in character?
I don't want to limit it to one direction, but I would think if one went one way and one went the other, it would be ideal if they both went to 26th Street, but I don't like the plan with the two going the way they are right now.
So this puts the motion at the staff will review the design standards.
Part of the challenge will be what we evaluate it against, as staff are evaluating it. And so far, we've heard about that there's a preference for having the garages either facing, 26th, or separating one to either direction. But not, that there's not a preference for having it, the least liked configuration is to have them both pointed towards Wellesley. That's been the measure so far, the yardstick that we're using.
And that's correct, and the agent recommended that they would do other designs and present it to staff.
So an increase in window space for whatever the front elevation is. And then I have a question. If the front of the house is oriented to 26th Street, then can the setbacks remain the same such they still have the same amount of space to work with? Because on that limited lot, that is an issue.
Yeah, they would not change unless there was a motion that was included as part of the motion.
Okay. All right, any other comments or questions? Our time for public comment had ended already, okay. I have a motion and motion from Commissioner Johnson, a second from Commissioner Green. All in favor of the motion as stated indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign.
No.
I have a no. And Commissioner Joe Johnson, are you still with us? Okay, yes, right. So we're at a specialist by now. So the motion passes 8, 7, 1. Thank you. The time is now 22:10:33. Do we have any more business to come before the commission today? 2 o'clock, 2:10 and 44 seconds, 46 seconds. I'm going for my shortest meeting yet. This motion is here. This meeting is hereby adjourned. Thank you all for your time and participation today.